Let me see if I can confuse the audience. This movie was, if you know, you know. Project Hail Mary. Science teacher Ryland Grace wakes up on a spaceship with no recollection of who he is or how he got there. As his memory slowly returns, he soon discovers he must solve the riddle behind a mysterious substance that's causing the sun to die out. As details of the mission unravel, he calls on his scientific training and sheer ingenuity, but he may not have to do it alone. Project Hail Mary. You've seen this movie before. You've probably seen iterations of this many times. When I saw this movie, there are films that came to mind like Rebel Moon, Enemy Mine, Interstellar, E.T., even Armageddon. You know, the world-ending films that only a handful of people who are smart enough or have the ingenuity enough to go and save the world because of an outside space threat. And it's usually an unlikely character. This movie wasn't genre-shattering, but when you think of the similarities, this movie does a lot of things that the other movies might have missed or didn't do as well, while still remaining or retaining their humor and even emotional parts. And in this film, those two definitely stood out. First, I'll say that the cast did an amazing job. Ryan Gosling playing Ryland Grace as a school teacher who is called upon to help solve the world's probably biggest problem. The sun was dying. And he's like, well, I know about it, but I'm not that smart. And even when you're watching him kind of talk to Eva Stratt, who's played by Sandra Hüller, you start to realize that he might not be cut out for this. He is a school teacher after all, but it is later in the film that is revealed how smart he actually is, and that he almost was selling himself short, if you will. Ryan Gosling was just a great choice to bring a bit of the humor and gravity and drama and even parts of high emotion and sadness. Like, he did that. And the fact of the matter is, he's on your screen most of the movie, and he carries this movie with grace, and he does all the things he needs to do. I absolutely loved Ryan Gosling's performance in this movie. That also takes me to Sandra Hüller playing Eva Stratt. I didn't really know too much about her. I'm not even really sure what other movies she might have been in. But I will tell you this, in this movie, especially the person playing the hard ass, right? You always get that sense that they're being a little bit too unfair, but in her circumstance, I understood the lengths that she was going, and I loved it when they showed her soft side. Speaking of the cast, there were two cast members who I didn't know what to think, but one of them was Lionel Boyce, who has been in FX The Bear, as well as some other things, and he's getting his name out there. And this is just another step up. I was surprised to actually see him in this movie, but I was glad he was in it. Glad to see him working. Bravo. He played Officer Carl. And the last person I have to say is Rocky. This is the alien being that was with Ryan Gosling for more than half the movie. Just like with the other movies that I mentioned, how you've seen this before. The alien, meeting up with the human in space. And first you're terrified, but then they become best friends, right? And it was interesting because during that whole time, it really showed Ryan Gosling's character and how smart he actually is. He was figuring out how to communicate with this alien being with no one around. He was literally the only one on that ship. I think that as they were uncovering how he even got up there, how he even woke up there, you also saw how smart he actually is. And I thought that was great and well done. There was no inkling in my mind that he couldn't do anything that he was doing. But Rocky, he's going to be a plush. He's going to be a toy somewhere. He might be in a McDonald's meal because he was the thing that brought that emotion, and it was emotionally charged when they built their relationship up to truly care for one another. And, I shed a tear. I did. I never thought I would do that over a rock. Elmo would be mad at me. The other things that this film did well was actually show, the themes of friendship and sacrifice. Even if you are different than somebody else, you care about that person with familiar bonds. And I think that that was executed most excellently in this film. Now, the only gripe I have was that certain scenes were a little long. I think that this could have been, 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half, maybe. I didn't mind that much. It was just, I noticed at a certain point that I was like, this scene could have been a little bit shorter, but I only said that once and everything else was fine. Guys, I'm not going to hold you. I gave this movie a 4.5 out of 5. It was funny, it had heart, and the themes were executed perfectly. And it helps when you have this cast and crew behind you. Ryan Gosling did an amazing job kind of bringing us into his world and having us understand the world in which he's living and the emergencies that are there. And there wasn't too much scientific jargon. Like, I understood exactly what needed to happen. They really explained it to me like I was in high school, you know what I mean? So I would go see this again, guys. I would absolutely go see this again. If you're into Interstellar or any movies where they're going into space and have to save the world, if that's your jam, you're going to absolutely love this. Guys, I have more movies here, and I always look forward to seeing you in the next one.